that is hurting families across this country. You can see it when people go to the gas station and pay 40% more to fill up their cars. It's not just at the pump. Their household electricity bills are through the roof. When they go to the grocery store, they're paying dramatically more for food. And of course, the debt ceiling is a symptom of Washington's spending problem under Joe Biden. Trillions in new spending that he's brought up. And to do what? Hundreds of billions of dollars President Biden borrowed to pay people not to work. Now think about paying people not to work at a time when every small business owner is looking for workers. It's not just bad spending policy to borrow from our children to pay people not to work, but President Biden's agenda of paying people not to work undermines Social Security. Because when he's borrowing money to pay people to sit at home, again, hundreds of billions of dollars he's borrowed to pay people not to work, those are people that aren't working who would otherwise be paying into Social Security. So President Biden's agenda has actually made Social Security less stable. We want to reverse that radical agenda. Republicans have already started getting to work, bringing forth an agenda focused on those families, fighting for the families who are struggling, to get our economy back on track, to bring energy security again, to secure America's border. In fact, we have multiple committees working on all of those items as we speak, and in the weeks ahead, you'll see bills coming to the floor to address those problems. We've already started bringing bills to the floor to address some of those problems. In fact, a few of them have produced bipartisan votes. But I want to point out an interesting vote last week. Maria Elvira Salazar brought a resolution that should have been straightforward to everybody to reject socialism and the ills of socialism through the years and the decades.
Good afternoon, friends. Happy Sunday to all of you. Democrats are taking action right now. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is now working with Republicans on a new plan to address the debt ceiling. Medicare has also just unveiled a new plan that will affect all beneficiaries, and some people may be surprised with monthly surcharges. My friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of these details. Also, I will be giving away 2 Walmart gift cards this coming Friday. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. As a need to raise the debt ceiling looms over Democrats and Republicans, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said today that there will be a clean debt ceiling increase. Senator Schumer told ABC News, "The Republican Party holds out with brinkmanship and says, 'I won't renew it unless you do what I want,' loses." As lawmakers near a July deadline to pass an increase to the debt ceiling, Republicans have demanded that the White House and Democrats agree to spending cuts. Democrats have said they won't commit to any cuts, accusing Republicans of threatening to tank the U.S. economy if Democrats do not meet their demands. But according to Chuck Schumer, Democrats are going to win the fight, and it's going to be a clean debt ceiling. After the U.S. Treasury Department began using extraordinary measures in January to continue paying the government's debts, talks began in Congress about raising the debt ceiling in order to avoid an economic crisis. Biden and Democrats have so far remained steadfast on the issue, emphasizing they will not negotiate with Republicans. Chuck Schumer's warnings about the dangers of not raising the debt ceiling echo the sentiments of many experts who caution that a U.S. debt default would be catastrophic to both the U.S. and world economy. Republicans argue the criticism from Democrats is unfair, saying that the debt limit is a good opportunity to assess spending priorities. Earlier this month, McCarthy and Biden held a private one-on-one meeting to discuss raising the debt ceiling. McCarthy expressed optimism and said, "There's an opportunity here to come to an agreement on both sides." President Biden has singled out Republican Senator Rick Scott for a proposal he put forward that would sunset all government programs, including Medicare and Social Security, after 5 years. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell disavowed the proposal publicly on Friday. McConnell said during an interview, "Unfortunately, that was a Scott plan. That's not a Republican plan." Other Republicans are also distancing themselves from the idea that they would support cutting the programs. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts about sunsetting Medicare and Social Security after 5 years? Medicare's historic plan to slow prescription spending is finally taking shape. This week, federal health officials released proposed guidance that outlines the first of a pair of major drug price reforms that are contained in the Inflation Reduction Act. Those reforms are projected to save Medicare about $170 billion over the next decade. President Biden touted the effort underway earlier this week in his State of the Union address. Biden said, "We are taking on powerful interests to bring your healthcare costs down so you can sleep better at night." Spending on prescriptions in Medicare, which covers 64 million seniors and individuals with disabilities, nearly tripled from about $85 billion in 2009 to $240 billion in 2020. Medicare spends an average of $2,700 per beneficiary on retail prescriptions each year. A team of roughly 24 analysts, economists, and other experts within the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is now knee-deep in the process of translating the administration's law into policy. The new details release outline how Medicare will use its new authority to claw back refunds from prescriptions for price increases that outpace the rate of inflation. The director of the Center for Medicare called guidance an important step in our work to lower out-of-pocket prescription costs and to strengthen the sustainability of Medicare programs for current and future enrollees. The authors of the Inflation Reduction Act gave the agency just a few months to finalize policy details. The new plan to lower drug prices requires prescription makers to refund Medicare for any price increases that outpace the rate of inflation. According to lawmakers, the inflation rebate program intends to hold drug companies accountable. Inflation rebates are expected to deliver $70 billion in savings over the next decade on a large number of prescriptions, potentially more than 1,000. The rebate law also gives Medicare discretion to reduce or waive rebates for companies whose drugs experience shortages or have a supply chain disruption. That is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Thank you, my dear friends, for being part of this community. Thank you, my dear friends, for being part of this community and for joining me here every single day. To say thank you, I will be announcing 2 winners next Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the giveaway, my friends, simply click and like several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances, my friends, of winning the weekly giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.